Okay? So, in addition to that, nakalagay dito, the assignment table contains a composite primary key composed of the attributes project number and the employee number. Any attribute that is at least part of a key is known as the prime attribute or a key attribute. Therefore, both project number and employee number are prime or key attributes. Conversely, a non-prime attribute or a non-key attribute is not part of any key. So, ibig sabihin, ang tawag dun sa mga naka-bold dito, yan ay prime attribute or key attribute. At itong mga hindi naka-bold, yan yung mga non-prime attribute. No? So, ang mga prime attributes, yan yung mga dependent attributes, samantalang yung mga prime attributes, yan yung mga determinant attributes. Okay? So, after determining all the tables that will be created based on the this step number 2 as part of the second normal form, the results of steps 1 and 2 are displayed in figure 5.4. Ano? At dito yun sa baba. Yan. At this point, most of the anomalies discussed earlier have been eliminated. Okay, so base dun sa ginawa natin na pinag-iwahiwalay natin yung mga table, na-eliminate na yung mga anomalies na binigyan natin example kanina. For example, if you now want to add or change or delete a project record, you need to go only to the project table and make the change to only one row. Okay? So, tingnan natin. Copy. And ilagay natin dito para hindi tayo pauli-uli. Ayan. So, ito na yung second normal form conversion results. Okay? So, ang nangyari sa second normal form, meron na tayong tatlong table. Ayan. We have the project table, employee table, and the assignment table. And as discussed, ito yung mga naka-primary key, yung mga ibang kulay. The blue ones are the normal non-prime attributes. Okay? Ayan. So, we have here the all desirable, one desirable dependency, which is a full functional dependency that the project determines the project name. Then we have here sa table name na employee, ito yung all desirable dependency sa taas in which uh, the employee name, a job class, and charge hour depends on the employee number. Then, we have here a transitive dependency. Ito yung pinag-usapan din natin kanina na nag-i-exist pa din siya in which the charge or rate per hour is determined by the job class. Or the job class is the job class determines the charge or rate per hour. O yung the charge or rate per hour depends on the job class. Okay? So, yung transitive dependency natin. And here we have the assignment table na yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung oras ng pagtatrabaho ng isang employee sa isang project. Ano? Parehong nakadepende dun sa dalawang primary key, which is our composite key right here. Ano? Okay. And ano po nakalagay dito sa sinasabi dito sa yun na nga. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, if na yung table natin ay hiwa-hiwalay na, ano, pag nag-update tayo ng isang project information, halimbawa, in-update natin yung evergreen, dito na lang tayo mag-update. Hindi natin kailangan pakialamanan itong nandito sa employee table. Okay? So, halimbawa naman at in-update natin ay yung rate or charge per hour, o kaya yung employee name na lang. Employee name ng isang employee, hindi na natin kailangan puntahan yung project table o kaya yung assignment table. Dito lang tayo pupunta para i-update or i-edit or i-delete yung record ng employee na yun. So, na-eliminate na natin yung the data anomalies na diniscuss natin kanina. Okay? So, ito yun. Ayan. So, nakalagay dito, because a partial dependency exists only when a table's primary key is composed of several attributes, a table whose primary key consists of only a single attribute is automatically in 2NF once it is in 1NF. No? So, di ba? Kung papansin nyo, wala na tayong partial dependency na nakikita ngayon dito sa mga table natin. Ano? Kasi lahat ng non-prime attributes ay nakadepende na lang sa uh, sarili niyang primary keys. Ano? Yung mga nandito, para dito, at ito, para dito, at ito, ay para dyan sa mga yan. Ano? So, ang ibig sabihin nun, sabi dito, a table whose primary key consists of only a single attribute is automatically into an F once it is in 1NF. Isa lang yung primary key. Ano? Isang single attribute lang yung primary key. Automatically, may yung lahat ng nasa 1NF ay 2NF na yun. Figure 5.4, ito sabi dito, Figure 5.4 still shows a transitive dependency. So, ito pa rin siya. Nag-exist pa din ito. Ayan. Which can generate anomalies. Sabi kanina, di ba? For example, if the charge per hour changes for a job classification held by many employees, the change must be made for each of those employees. Okay? Tingnan natin yung example na yun. Okay. So, na yun. Okay. Dito, ang pinag-usapan doon ay itong apat na to, di ba? I-crop natin para yun lang yung nakikita natin. Sige. Ang pinag-uusapan ay itong apat na column lang. Ayan. Halimbawa, ito yung table natin na employee. Diba? Ito yung na-create natin sa second normal form. Sabi doon, nag-i-exist pa din daw yung transitive dependency. Kasi nga, si charge or rate per hour ay nakadepende sa job classification. Ano? So, ang example na meron pang anomalies na nagaganap dito ay, yan, ang sabi dito sa ano to, if the charge per hour changes for a job classification held by many employees, the change must be made for each of those employees. Okay. Paano daw kapag nagpalit yung isang charge or rate per hour ng database designer? Ayan. We have here database designer job class. Ano? Tapos magpapalit siya ng charge or rate per hour. So, ang mangyayari, yung update na gagawin ay mangyayari sa lahat ng employee na mayroong job classification na database designer. So, paulit-ulit na i-execute yung query na yun. Ano? So, isa, dalawa, tatlo, apat. Lahat ng employee na yun, si John G. News, Alice K. Johnson, tapos, sino pa? Yung dalawang yun. Ano? Yung dalawang yun. Parehong i-change yung rate or change per hour, charge per hour nung kanilang base sa kanilang job classification. So meron tayong update anomaly, ano? So if you forget to update some of the employee records that are affected by the charge per hour change, different employees with the same job description will generate different hourly charges. Halimbawa, ang na-update lang natin ay si Alice at hindi natin na-update yung kay John. So, may inconsistent na yung hourly charge ng ganong klase ng job classification. Ibig sabihin, magiging magkaiba ng rate yung dalawang yun. Kahit na, for example, ay pareho lang yung trabaho na ginawa nila, yung oras na ginawa nila, at since na pareho silang database designer. Okay? So, yun pa yung kailangang solusyonan pagdating sa third normal form. Ano? So, pag mayroon pang transitive dependency na nag-exist on the tables that was created in the second normal form, dun papasok yung pagkakaroon ng third normal form. Ano? So, yun. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ka titigil sa pag-angat ng normal form mo sa renormalization hanggat mayroong dependencies na nag-exist sa isang attribute na non-prime na nagde-depend sa isa pang non-prime attribute. Okay? So, anong kailangan natin gawin doon? Kailangan natin punta sa third normal form. So, meron lang tayo dito ilang notes. to remind us that a table in a second normal form is when it is in 1NF and it includes no partial dependencies. So kanina nakita natin dun sa ating tatlong table na na-create, wala nang partial dependencies na nagaganap. Ano? No attribute is dependent on only a portion of the primary key. Note that it is still possible for a table in second and F to exhibit transitive dependency. That is, one or more attributes may be functionally dependent on a non-key attribute. At yun yung charge or rate per hour na nakadepende sa job classification. So kaya papasok sa atin ngayon si uh, third normal form. That the data anomalies created by the database organization in 5.4 are easily eliminated by completing the following steps. So ito yung mga kailangan natin gawin. No? Step 1. Identify each new determinant. Okay. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay yung transitive dependency. Ano? Yung isang non-prime attribute ay nakadepende sa isang non-prime attribute. Okay? For every, nakalagay dito sa unang step, kailangan nating i-identify yung each new determinant. Ano? Ibig sabihin yun yung nagde-determine sa isang uh, attribute. Ano? Yung isang attribute na dinidependehan ng isa pang attribute. Okay? Na dapat hindi siya primary key. Okay? For every, nakalagay dito, for every transitive dependency, its determinant, write its determinant as a primary key for a new table. Okay. So, ang transitive dependency natin kanina is, we have here, this one. At dito sa dalawang non-prime attribute na to, na hindi primary key, ang determinant natin ay yung job class. Ano? Ito. Kasi sa bawat job class, doon nakadepende kung ano yung charge or rate per hour niya. So, ito yung determinant natin na attribute. At ito yung dependent attribute. Okay? So, ang gagawin daw, isusulat daw natin yung determinant attribute doon bilang isang primary key ng bagong table. So, ibig sabihin, we are going to divide this employee table again, ano? At kukunin natin si job class at ang mangyayari, siya ay magiging primary key ng panibagong table. Yan. Yun yung sabi dito. Ayan o. A determinant is any attribute whose value determines other values within a row. If you have three different transitive dependencies, you will have three different determinants. So, ibig sabihin, automatic panibagong tatlong table na naman yun. Ano? Figure 5.4 shows only one table that contains a transitive dependency. Therefore, write the determinant for this transitive dependency as ito. So, we have here our transitive determinant attribute. Isa lang siya. So, kung meron tayong 5 na nakitang transitive dependency doon, 5 yung maaari nating masulat na determinant at ito yung magsiserve as panibagong primary key ng bagong table. So, since we only have one transitive dependency that exists, isa lang yan. No? Isang table lang ang makikreate natin ulit. Then, after that, identify the dependent attributes. Okay. So, aalamin mo naman kung ano ang mga dependent attributes na nakadepende dun sa determinant na yun. So, identify the attributes that are dependent on each determinant identified in step 1 and identify the dependency. In this case, you write, so this is the determinant and this is the dependent attribute. So, the job class determines charge per hour. Then, syempre, pag may nakita yung ganitong panibagong dependency, automatic we are going to create a new table. So, name the table to reflect its contents and function. In this case, job seems appropriate. So, anong pwede natin maging pangalan ng table? Sabi dito, job daw. Pwede. Diba? Kasi ang magiging laman nun is halimbawa, database manager, engineer, mga ganun, electrical engineer, ganun. Ano? Then yung rate per hour. Ano? So, pwede yung gawin, ang ipangalan natin sa kanya is job. ang pangalan, job table. Okay? So, for the step 3, for the next step, sa third normal form, nakalagay dito, remove the dependent attributes from transitive dependencies. So, ano ang kailangan natin gawin dito? Okay, so sabi dito, to remove the dependent attributes from the transitive dependencies, ito ang gagawin. Eliminate all dependent attributes in the transitive relationship from each of the tables that have such a transitive relationship. So, tatanggalin natin yung mga dependent variable dun sa mga tables na mayroong nag-i-exist na transitive relationship. In this example, i-eliminate natin yung charge rate per hour from the employee table. Kasi di ba na-determine natin na determinant yung job class doon. So, ibig sabihin, kasamang mawawala doon sa employee table natin, saan na yun? Ito, yan. So, kung i-implement natin yun, parehong mawawala to. So, ang mangyayari doon sa employee table, yun na lang ang natitira. Ano? Si employee number at employee name. Okay? At yung dalawa na tinanggal natin, ito, yan, ay mapupunta, wala pa. Ano? Kasi ito, didetermine natin na magiging laman ng job table natin. At kinukuha natin ito dito. So, maaaring magsama sila sa isang table. Ano? So, yun na. Solution in 514, leave the employee table dependency definition as, okay. So, okay. Ito ang nangyaring matitira sa table natin. Okay? So, sir, bakit po naiwan pa yung job class doon? Kasi, parang magsiservice to as isang foreign attribute mula doon sa table natin na job class. So, ang tatanggalin lang natin is the dependent attribute. Okay? Tatanggalin natin si dependent attribute for this time muna. Kasi syempre may mga susunod na step pa yan. Okay? So, dalawa pang column pala ang matitira doon sa ating table na employee number. Employee table, we have the employee name at the job class. Then, note that the job class remains in the table, employee table, to serve as the foreign key. Ayan. Sabi ko sa inyo, magiging foreign key attribute siya. Ano? So, ibig sabihin, yung foreign key na yun, maaaring siya ay primary key doon sa table na na-create natin, which is the job class. The job table, I mean. Ngayon, draw a new dependency diagram to show all of the tables you have defined in steps 1 to 3. Check the new tables as well as the tables you modified in step 3 to make sure that each table has a determinant and that no table contains inappropriate dependencies. When you have completed steps 1 to 3, you will see the results in figure 5.5. The usual procedure is to complete step 1 and 1 to 3 by simply drawing the revisions as you make them. So, pagdating dito, ito na yung result ng ating third normal form steps 1, 2, and 3. Ano? Yan, yung ginawa natin ito. Yung in-identify yung new determinant, in-identify yung dependent attributes, at ni-remove yung dependent attributes from the transitive dependency. As a result, ito yung naging itsura. Ayan. So, as is pa rin yung project table natin, then sa employee table, and we only have 3 columns or 3 attributes. We have the prime attribute, primary key, employee number, and these 2 non-prime attributes. Then, we have created a new table which is, tinawag natin siya na job table. Okay? And since the job class was determined as the determinant, so sinet natin siya as the primary key of the table that we created. At kasama niya yung charge or rate per hour as the dependent attribute. Kasi ito yung nakadepende sa kanya. So, kailangan nila magsama sa isang table. And syempre, we have the assignment table. As is pa rin naman sila. Wala pa tayong ginagawa sa kanya. Okay? So, in other words, after the 3NF conversion has been completed, your database contains 4 tables. So, 4 na yung table natin. Yan, ito sila. We have the project table, employee table, job table, and the assignment table. Okay? Yeah. So note that this conversion has eliminated the original employee table's transitive dependency. So wala na tayong nakikitang transitive dependency dun sa employee table natin. The table are now set to be in third normal form. Ano kasi, ang pinakang characteristic ng third normal form ay dapat wala nang nag exist na transitive dependency sa mga table. Pag nangyari yun, automatic na sa 3NF na tayo. Okay? Masasabing nasa 3NF na yung ating normalized tables. Okay? Ayan, nakalagay dito. A table is in third normal form when it is in 2NF and it contains no transitive dependency. So, yun. Tapos na ba yung normalization process natin? Oo, pwede. Ano? Pwedeng tapos na yung normalization process natin. Ano? But, tingnan natin yung table na yun. So, yeah. So, but when it comes to the parang ang tawag dito ay yung pagkakabuo ng mga fields na meron doon sa ating table sa database, maaari pa siyang i-improve. Ano? Meron pa tayong pwedeng gawin na improvement dun sa mga fields and columns na meron dun sa mga table na na-create natin as a result ng third normal form. So, dito pumapasok yung mga ilang steps na pwede nating gawin to improve the to improve the database design. Basahin natin to. The table structures are cleaned up to eliminate the troublesome partial and transitive dependencies. You can now focus on improving the database ability to provide information and on enhancing its operational characteristics. In the next few paragraphs, you will learn about the various types of issues you need to address to produce a good normalized set of tables. Please note that for space issues, each section presents just one example. The designer must apply the principle to all remaining tables in the design. Remember that normalization cannot by itself be relied on to make good designs. Instead, normalization is valuable because its use helps eliminate data redundancies. Ano? Data redundancies, and it helps to provide our table with data that can be said to be uh, to have integrity and consistency. Pero yung pagkaka-design ng table natin sa database ay maaaring hindi ganun kaganda. So ito yung mga kailangan or pwede nating gawin para mapaayos pa yung design ng database natin. Yan. So una, we have to evaluate primary key assignments. Ano? Alam naman natin si primary key, di ba? Each time a new employee is entered into the employee table, a job class value must be entered. No? 'Di ba? So, paano ba natin gagawin? Sige. Mag-open na tayo ng isang database management system, which is MySQL, using, sige, WAMP na lang muna ngayon. Or, sige, SAMP na. Kasi ito yung gagamitin natin. Okay? So, I'm going to open my SAMP para ma-run si MySQL. So, in order for you to have MySQL, you need to install SAMP on your PC. So, next time, i-discuss ko kung paano kayo magkakaroon ng SAMP. Ano? So, nasa na si SAMP? Ayan. Ayan. So, this is a SAMP control panel. And I'm going to start MySQL command, yung module ng MySQL and the Apache. Para magamit natin yung tinatawag na phpMyAdmin para makontrol si MySQL. Okay? So, di pa nagra-run. Okay. So, okay na siya. So, pwede natin ito i-close. Then, we can open a browser and type localhost. So, localhost, ibig sabihin ito yung uh, home server nitong computer ko kung saan nakarun yung Apache na nagdi-deploy ng MySQL database management system. So, yun siya. So, sa dashboard tayo. So, pupunta ako sa phpMyAdmin para hindi tayo gumamit ng console in order to create database, to perform queries. So, dito ko ipapakita sa inyo kung paano makikreate yung table natin. Ano? Tama ba na ipakita ko na siya ngayon kasi medyo mabagal? Uh, okay. So, here is the parang index ng phpMyAdmin kung saan ito yung gagamitin natin para mag-create ng database at i-control yung mga tables na meron doon. So, here I'm going to create a new database. So, using the database tab, click ko yun and I am going to provide a database name. So, anong pwede natin ipangalan doon sa database natin? Like, for example, is constructions na lang. Construction database. So, lagyan natin ng DB para natin siya database. Construction DB. Then, we're going to click the create button. Then, pagka-create nun, makikita natin yung database natin dito. And we are going to create our tables para dun sa ating database. Ayan. Kaya dito lumabas na mag-create na tayo ng isang table para dun sa database natin. So, ayon sa ating pinag-uusapan dito, ayan, meron tayong employee table. Sige. Sabi dito, each time a new employee is entered into the employee table, a job class value must be entered. So, ibig sabihin, kung meron tayo na employee table, at ang columns niya ay meron tayong employee number, employee name, and the job class. So, we only have 3. And nalagay dito kung ilang number of columns ang dapat meron sa table. At dito, dinidefine kung ano yung mga constraints ng bawat attribute. At ano yung mga attribute na yun. Siyempre, meron tayo kanina na employee underscore number. And we have here the employee underscore name and the job underscore class. So, dito sineset kung ano yung mga type ng data na i-enter natin para dun sa specific field. So, sa employee number, siya ay i-set natin as integer for now. Employee number should be variable character because we are going to enter series of texts and characters. Then, sa job class is also variable character. Okay? So, pag integer, sineset kung ilan ang length. So, by default, 11 yun for integer. So, kahit di naman natin ilagay. So, sa variable character, pwede natin iset length ng employee name na input. For example, 250 characters. And here, we can say ito ay 100 characters. Yeah. Then, pwede natin iset yung default value ng mga field na yun. So, wala tayong ilalagay na default value for the attributes of our employee table. So, hindi natin kailangang i-edit itong collation. And then, dito sa attributes, wala rin tayong kailangan gawin dyan. So, ang kailangan nating puntahan, bakit wala yung ano dito? Scroll bar. So, ito na nga. Dito na natin. Hindi ko makita masyado. Dato lang scroll bar na nakikita. Wala. Pero, ito, sorry. Ito pala siya. Hanap ko ka dito. Dito sa baba. Ito pala siya. Okay. So, then, wala tayong gagawin dyan. So, itong checkbox na to is, kung i-check natin, automatic magiging null siya. pwedeng magkaroon ng null value yung column na yun. Ano? Then, dito sa index, so since